On today's episode of You Asked, does it matter what you use to stream Netflix or any other streaming service? Is now a time you should really just wait to buy a new TV? How about Hisense U8K versus TCL Q7? And will there be more Nakamichi Dragon comparisons? Welcome back, everyone. I'm Caleb Dennison, and this is You Asked, where I answer questions that you asked in hopes of helping you and others who might have similar questions. We have got some good ones today, and I have you to thank for them, so thank you. Also, I've got some questions for you myself, so stick around to the end for those. And since we're hanging out, let me know if you like this kind of content by clicking like. Even if you have liked the ones in the past, please keep liking. The more you like, the more YouTube likes, the more I like. Just like, man. Oh, and subscribe and ring that bell too, please. You are awesome. Okay, let's go. Today's first question comes from John Gala, who writes, does it matter which piece of equipment one uses to watch a streaming service such as Netflix? I have fiber optic cable TV service, Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player, and LG C3 TV. All offer Netflix. The sound is fed to a Denon AVR. Would picture and sound quality be the same regardless? Does it only depend on the internet speed? So thanks, John. I'm glad you asked this question. The timing of your question could not be better. So the Sony X95L versus TCL QM8 video has come out since you sent this question, but if you haven't seen that video, check it out. All of you should actually see that video, because in that video, I show how the Max app on the Sony TV seems to be problematic, and the YouTube app on the TCL TV seems to be problematic as well, both in terms of picture quality. But that's really just the tip of the iceberg. Something I've been learning slowly over the last couple of years is that many, if not all, of the most popular streaming apps behave wildly differently from platform to platform. So the Netflix app on LG's WebOS, for example, may behave dramatically different from the Netflix app on Roku TV OS, which is different than Netflix on Google TVs versus on Chromecast with Google TV, and so on and so on and so on and on. I don't even know about all of the issues, but some include certain platforms limiting color bit depth to 420, which means more color banding just because you're watching on that particular platform. It's also true that some platforms refuse to allow buffering in favor of better picture quality. So even though you pay for 4K, you might not be getting it because the internet connection is too slow. Some platforms may present 24 FPS content locked down at 30 FPS without you having any say in it. The issue is wide-ranging, and there isn't a single streaming platform or device that is perfect. They all have issues. And no, I have not created a database to track or cross-reference all this, and since I'm a little pressed for time, I'm not even gonna Google that right now. If you do and you find something helpful on this topic, like a log of what different apps on different platforms do and don't do, let me know in the comments. Frankly though, it's the kind of content I would make. I just need time and research resources that I don't have right now. But dang, yeah, that's a good idea. Anyway, what I can tell you is that I have decided to settle on the Apple TV 4K as my personal preferred streaming OS and streaming device. It's the one with the least amount of questions and just enough controls available. It also comes with the fewest number of headaches, and for that, I'm willing to pay a little extra. It's not perfect, but it is the least flawed, and sadly, I think that's where we're at right now with streaming. Pick the least evil, and for me, that's the Apple TV 4K. I prefer using Google TV, but seems like I can't trust it right now. Next up is a question from Tyler Creador, who wrote, Caleb and company, I'm in the middle of the road of choosing either the Hisense 55-inch U8K or the TCL 55-inch Q7. I watch TV mostly for dinner time and more on the weekends. We like to watch Netflix, YouTube, Disney+, Paramount+, and ESPN Plus for softball and cornhole. That is very specific. Our viewing angle isn't straight on, but 6 to 10 feet away from the TV that is wall mounted. I have a Samsung model code, oh my sweet mercy, with a 2.1 soundbar and subwoofer combo from Samsung. The TV is in a room with a large window that only gets the sun when it's setting in the sky. I'm also looking into getting the Nintendo Switch OLED to hook up as well. I use the Xfinity Flex box and the Roku Ultra box for streaming. Okay, look, Tyler, given your use, I'm inclined to say go for the Hisense U8K. In terms of picture quality and to a lesser degree sound, it's the better performing TV among the two that you listed. And since you won't be using the onboard Google TV interface much, other than for selecting your desired input for your Roku or Xfinity box, I'm comfortable with the U8K as a suggestion. My main gripe is that Hisense's OS slows down after a couple of years of updates. That may be changing, but I haven't had a chance to test it. So until I do, that's the one thing I'm gonna keep in mind. Anyway, yeah, I hope that helps. Next, coming in hot from India is Mohammed Arafat, who says, hello Caleb, love from India. Well, love right back at you. Can we have a Dragon versus Sonos 300 versus Sony A9 with SW5 comparison? Well, I'm sorry to say, Mohammed, that the answer to that is, for now, no. I'm sorry. I think that's a great idea, and if I had the Sony HT-A9 here to do comparisons, frankly, I would have done that already, but Sony needed their HT-A9 back, so I sent it back when I was done with the review. Perhaps I should have pressed harder to keep it, that's my mistake, but not only do I not have the HT-A9 from Sony, even if I did get them to send me one again, I also don't have the Nakamichi Dragon anymore. I had to send that back to Nakamichi, which was kind of a bummer, but also it was huge and heavy and I didn't really have the room for it to stick around, so we'll say that's kind of a bittersweet thing. If I had to do a hot take on that though, I'd say Nakamichi for the movies and Sony for the music, and the SW5 is pretty good, but it can't hold a candle to the dual Nakamichi subs. That's just based on my memory. Hope that is helpful. John Sprecher writes, it feels like there is so much innovation on the horizon, from brighter than G3 OLEDs, mini LED quantum color going from good to great, and even larger big screen formats next year. If you're a multi-big screen household, does it feel to you like a bad time to invest in a Grail TV for the main viewing area of a home? Well, John, I hope it helps you to know that you are not alone with these feelings out there. I get this question all the time because this concern always exists. But I mean, there's your answer in a way. This concern will never go away. There will always be a worry with consumer tech that the next new version right around the corner is sufficiently improved such that waiting to buy seems smart. But the concern is that what you buy now would be obsolete, right? But here's the thing, I don't think I can recall a year in which any new version of a TV made the one before it obsolete, or even that much less desirable. The introduction of QD-OLED was one of the bigger recent moments in TV tech, and while it was new and impressive, it didn't render WOLED that came before it obsolete. Same with the LG G3. MLA made things brighter, and that's exciting, but how necessary is it for most folks? It isn't. The G3 didn't make anything obsolete either. I mean, shoot, some thought that mini LED was going to make regular LED obsolete, and that clearly hasn't happened either. So you're not going to run into obsolescence. What's really happening is you are worried you aren't going to have the latest and greatest. And I get that, but that will always be true. There will always be little upgrades over the prior year. So my advice is don't wait for things to stabilize, because they will always be in flux. Buy when you want to buy when you can buy, and do what you can to refuse your mind the urge to experience FOMO. Resist FOMO at all costs. No FOMO. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna see fellow YouTuber Stop the FOMO, aka FOMO for short, and I really hope he doesn't kill me for that joke. I don't think he will. He's got a pretty great sense of humor, but I just can't help myself. Here's a great one from Basim Obadat. Look, by the way, folks, if you want to make sure I don't mispronounce your name, please consider using phonetic spelling so I don't butcher it unintentionally. But also, for those of you who enjoy seeing me just fail spectacularly, I know for sure I am not letting you down. Anyway, Basim asked, hello Caleb, if budget is not a concern, which TV model is better to buy, considering the use of it is streaming content like Netflix or Disney Plus, and casual console playing, PS5 to be exact. Please note that the space allows for 65 or 75-inch maximum. The video quality is important, but I am not a nit nerd, and the room is semi-dark, so brightness is not an issue. I just watched episode 6 of You Asked, and following your advice, this is the most amount of information I was able to provide to help you help me. Thank you, and regards, Basim Obadat. Well, first of all, thanks for watching and paying such close attention. Second of all, thank you for heeding my call for help. I really appreciate it, and because you did that, I feel like I have to answer your question on this. So congrats on that, I guess. Is that me being presumptuous? Anyway, you gave me just enough information to answer there. You're looking at a 65 or 75 inch, cost is no object. You stream Netflix and maybe play some PS5. Massive brightness is not an issue. Given those considerations, especially the cost no object thing, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that the Sony A95L is probably going to be the best TV to buy in terms of picture quality and overall performance. Now, please understand that I have not yet reviewed that TV. Hasn't shown up yet. I will be soon though. Sony assures me of that. So if you want to wait for that review, just to be sure, that is certainly the safe, smart play. But unless Sony really screws something up, which it does not have a history of doing, last year's A95K is a good indication that the A95L is going to be an absolutely outstanding TV and just slightly better in some small ways than the A95L. If you could still get an A95K though, I would probably just get that and save some money. That is if, and only if, you don't mind going 65 inch. If you want to stretch a little bit and get a 77 inch, I know that's 2 more than 75, but you would need to wait for the A95L to come out. I would also strongly consider the LG G3 OLED or the Samsung S95C QD-OLED, as both are very strong TVs as well, each with their own little advantages. But yeah, if you're gonna pin me down to just one and tell me cost is no object, I'd say get a 77-inch Sony A95L when they come out. That has all the makings of the best TV of the year. Now, we'll know that for certain, well, just days before this video comes out. But as of right now, the big TV shootout is just a few days away. I should probably go get packing for that, actually. Thanks as always for watching, everyone. I have a question for you now. Do you like the broader, just generally informative questions, or do you prefer the hyper-specific to a particular kind of need questions, like the one that I just answered? Let me know down in the comments. I have a feeling I know what YouTube likes best, but this is more for you than it is for YouTube. So let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one, and until then, here's 2 other videos I think you might like.